inspiration, and joy that I have the privilege of inviting up to the lectern our keynote speaker, Ms. Keturah Kendrick.
Wow, the English teacher and author has no words. Thank you, Laura. Whew. Put on my eyes because I'm also over the age of 40. Future leaders of tomorrow. I want to start by thanking you, really from the bottom of my heart, for allowing me the absolute honor of speaking at your commencement. I've spoken at many events over the last few years, yet none have humbled me as much as delivering this address to you, the very same people for whom I wanted to teach, the young women for whom I write. I want you to know I have struggled to find the right words to say. I know your teachers have more than prepared you for the academic rigor of the universities you'll be attending in the fall, so I ruled out those cliched platitudes that our valedictorian talked about hard work and leaning into the grit and asking for help by the time I had written my first draft. Since I haven't taught you personally, I couldn't speak to your individual strengths and funny personality quirks, unfortunately. So now here we are at draft number 3 of this speech. I've decided to speak to you about what I wish someone had shared with me way back in the 90s when I sat where you were, excited, yet if I'm being real, anxious and afraid of what was next. Creators of your own destiny, allow me to talk to you today about courage. In his book, Discussions on Youth, Daisaku Ikeda, a Buddhist leader and my mentor in life, encourages young people by saying, true courage is to live honestly and tenaciously. This kind of courage is priceless. It is steadfast courage, sound and healthy courage. Now, courage is one of those words that gets used a whole lot. It's often employed as a way to ease fears, advice to someone who is scared to take a risk. Well, ladies, there is no greater risk you will take than living the truth of who you are. Creating a life that you know at your core is aligned with your values, your vision for who you believe yourself to be. It seems simple, right? Why wouldn't I live honestly, miss? I mean, why would I need courage just to live as who I am? Sweetie, you have no idea how difficult living honestly will become. How much you will have to fight against fear to embody what Ikeda describes as that sound and healthy courage. This moment you are in right now is much bigger than just getting from underneath your parents' thumb, finally. It goes beyond just receiving the document that proves you put in your time at a New York City public school. It is significant because it marks the beginning of figuring out who you are. Not who your parents want you to be, not who your grades and test scores say you are, not what your latest TikTok video brands you as, but who you are. Up until this point, your parents have sacrificed and prayed and probably cried a little bit, trying to shape who you are. I can guarantee your teachers have agonized over if they have helped or hindered you in this discovery process. And now both will release you out there in the wild to find an answer to the question only you can answer. Who am I? I suspect you won't have an answer even by the time you get your next document proving that you put in your time at an institution of higher learning. As a matter of fact, you'd be quite an anomaly if you left undergrad proclaiming, yeah, I got it. I know exactly who I am. What I can predict, however, is that the universe will put people in your path who will challenge you to query that question itself. It will place you in situations where you will be forced to decide who you are and how you plan to walk this earth. Please don't fool yourself into believing that making the choice to live authentically will be an easy one. Your path to such honesty will be winding, sometimes unclear, and depending on what your truth is, it will be unsafe. Walk that path anyway. Many will believe they should have a say in not only the path you will walk, but also in the way in which you walk it. They will feel entitled to suggest when you should abandon one path to start another. Now, these people will mean no harm. They love you, and they only want the best for you. But the thing is, it is not their path. It is yours, and yours alone. Even when you stumble along and break a toe or two, maybe sprain your ankle, the path still belongs to you. At your core, you know what's best for you. The people who have shaped you have done their jobs. It's now time for you to do yours. Don't worry, you're ready for it. There's no need to write some grand manifesto of who you are right now. You'll figure that out as you go along. Please just remember the story is yours to write. There is no one else more qualified to pin your path than you. I want to stress that determining a major in college isn't pinning your path. Accepting your first big-time job that makes your people proud after college is not writing your destiny. Now, both of these are pivotal markers of adulthood, and you should make these choices with care and thought. However, neither will determine who you are. Neither will matter in the character-driven, plot-heavy novel that will be your life. What will matter is how you choose to live each day in the midst of all the noise that distracts us from the crucial work of creating the self. I implore you, girls, never forsake the real work of forming a self based on more than the degrees you will earn, the countries you will travel to, the jobs you will take, the businesses you will start. I tell you this because for 15 years, a large portion of my identity was connected to being a teacher. I wanted to teach because of TYWLS, East Harlem. And for almost a decade, I mistakenly assumed that since I was passionate about girls' education and committed to introducing Black and brown girls to Black and brown women writers, that being a teacher at TYWLS was my path. I thought it was my only path, actually. When I left the United States in TYWLS to teach and travel all over the world, I made another mistake and assuming that this was my path. I was still at my core a teacher of adolescents, an ally to youth. But now I was a traveler. Certainly, this is my path. Now I am an author whose readers admire her courage to live in her truth. Does that mean my path has changed? No, it hasn't. Teaching, traveling, writing, speaking have all been important roles I've taken on over the course of my life. But my path, however, remains as it always has been. A woman who lives for the spiritual, mental, and emotional health of Black women. A woman who exists to shine her light so others will no longer feel comfortable dimming theirs. You might change universities. You might take a job that you hate. You will change. Your path will not. Young warrior women, I want you not only to live honestly. As Akeda says, I want you to live tenaciously. This means you must live your truth out loud. This won't be easy either. There will be no shortage of people who have you believe you have no right to live out loud. These people will make it their goal to try to humble you, suggesting that you haven't earned the privilege yet to live with such audacity, because living with audacity is for the older, the whiter, the wealthier. Bless these people's hearts. They'll have no idea who you are, where you were trained in the art of living with all the audacities. They won't know you a TYWLS girl, sitting silently and smiling politely in the back of classrooms. That's not how we raised you. That's not how you do. In your journey to discover who you really are, what your truth is, I want you to live out each and every version of yourself as if there was a clearance sale on audacities, and you strolled into the store to buy up each and every single one. And it's okay if you're scared. It's quite okay if you don't feel audacious at first. Remember, living honestly is the very definition of courage. If you enter your first freshman class feeling nervous, you don't need to pretend that you aren't. You don't need to fake confidence, because you are worthy even before you know you are. You are capable even when you have no idea what you're doing. All of us who have grown into our greatness were once 18-year-old girls battling imposter syndrome too. We too were kept up at night wondering if we wanted too much, if we were dreaming just a little bit too big. We wondered if our high schools had prepared us enough, if our parents had given us all we needed to survive in this world where so many people didn't look like us. So many people never even bothered to look up and see us. It took us a while to accept that our mission, our reason for being born as human beings, required us to beat back self-doubt and own up to our potential for excellence. In case no one has said it to you yet, I'll say it to you now. The vastness of this entire universe exists within each and every one of your lives. You can try to hide from your greatness, but eventually, young ladies, your life will demand you step into it. Now, I started off my remarks saying I wanted to talk to you about courage. What I've learned as I've prepared these words is at the heart of the matter. I want you to know it will take courage to be you. It will take courage to do the hard work of examining what you really believe, relearning harmful lessons the people who love you taught, and charting a path congruent with who you are and who you aim to be. Game changers, this is the beauty of this moment. This is why I am honored to have been asked to leave you with the final words you'll hear before you accept the first of many, 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 many pieces of paper that will prepare you further on your path. I encourage you to drown out the noise of the world in order to hear your own voice. I urge you to find the courage to heed that voice, even if it whispers in an incoherent stutter at first. Your mission, high school graduates, is to find the courage to walk your path, guided by that voice, to live in the complete fullness of who you are, to become you and live as only you with absolutely no apologies. Thank you and congratulations.